Chapter 1: A Visit to the Churchyard. In the quaint village of Littlemarsh, nestled amidst rolling green hills and whispering woods, there stood an ancient churchyard, its weathered gravestones bearing silent witness to the passage of time. It was here, amid the solemn stillness of this sacred place, that the young orphan boy named Pip found solace and connection with his departed parents. Pip was a boy of tender years, with eyes that mirrored the endless expanse of the sky and a heart that yearned for the warmth of family love. Yet fate had dealt him a cruel hand, leaving him an orphan to wander the world alone. But in the embrace of his kind-hearted aunt and uncle, Pip had found a semblance of home, a refuge from life's harsh realities. Every Sunday afternoon, when the golden rays of the sun danced upon the earth like fleeting memories, Pip would make his pilgrimage to the churchyard. With each step he took, the familiar path winding its way through the verdant countryside, Pip felt a sense of anticipation mingled with a touch of melancholy. For he knew that soon he would stand once more by the weather-beaten tombstones that marked the final resting place of his beloved parents. As Pip entered the churchyard gates, the scent of wildflowers and moss mingled with the earthy aroma of freshly turned soil, enveloping him in a cocoon of tranquility. He walked with a solemn reverence, his footsteps soft upon the dew-kissed grass, until at last he reached the shaded corner where his parents lay at rest. The gravestones stood like sentinels in the fading light, their inscriptions weathered by the passage of time yet still bearing witness to lives once lived, loves once cherished. Pip knelt by his parents' graves, his heart heavy with longing and sorrow. He traced the letters of their names with trembling fingers, whispering words of love and remembrance into the hallowed silence. Here, amid the quietude of the churchyard, Pip found solace in the memories of days gone by. He recalled the sound of his mother's laughter, like the tinkling of wind chimes on a gentle breeze, and the warmth of his father's embrace, strong and steady as an oak tree in the storm. And though they were gone from this world, their love lived on in Pip's heart, a flame that flickered defiantly against the encroaching darkness of loss and despair. As the shadows lengthened and the last rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, Pip lingered by his parents' graves, reluctant to leave the sanctuary of this sacred place. For here, amid the silent company of the departed, he found a sense of belonging, a connection that transcended the boundaries of life and death. And so, with a heavy heart, yet a spirit uplifted by the enduring love of his parents, Pip bid farewell to the churchyard, knowing that he would return again and again, seeking solace and communion with those who had gone before. For in the embrace of memory, he found the strength to face the trials of tomorrow and the courage to walk the path that lay ahead. Chapter 2: Memories Among the Tombstones. In the heart of Littlemarsh village, where the gentle breeze whispered secrets to the towering oak trees, and the sun painted the sky with hues of gold and crimson, lay the sacred ground of the churchyard. Here, amid the solemn silence of weathered tombstones and swaying grass, young Pip found himself immersed in a world of memories and melancholy, as he wandered among the resting places of the departed. As Pip ventured deeper into the churchyard, his eyes traced the lines of ancient gravestones, each one a testament to a life once lived, a story once told. Some stood tall and proud, their inscriptions etched in stone like echoes of a bygone era, while others lay in humble repose, their names worn away by the relentless march of time. Yet each one held a tale untold, a legacy of love and loss that lingered in the air like the scent of rain on a summer's eve. Pip walked with a reverent tread, his footsteps echoing softly against the moss-covered earth, as he made his way to the secluded corner where his parents lay at rest. Here, beneath the spreading branches of an ancient oak tree, stood the weathered gravestones that marked the final resting place of those he held most dear. Kneeling beside his parents' graves, Pip felt a wave of bittersweet nostalgia wash over him, as memories long buried rose to the surface like ghosts from the past. He recalled the sound of his mother's laughter, tinkling like silver bells in the crisp morning air, and the warmth of his father's embrace, strong and reassuring as the sturdy oak that sheltered them from the storm. With trembling fingers, Pip traced the letters of his parents' names, feeling the rough texture of the weathered stone beneath his touch. Each stroke brought forth a flood of memories, as he relived moments long gone but never forgotten. He remembered the twinkle in his mother's eyes as she tucked him into bed at night, and the sound of his father's voice as he regaled him with tales of distant lands and daring adventures. Lost in reverie, Pip lingered by his parents' graves, his heart heavy with longing and sorrow. Yet amid the grief and the pain, there was also a sense of comfort, a feeling of connection that transcended the boundaries of life and death. For here, in the embrace of memory, Pip found solace and strength, drawing courage from the love that had sustained him through the darkest of times. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the churchyard, Pip rose to his feet, his spirit uplifted by the knowledge that his parents lived on in his heart. With a final glance at the weathered gravestones that marked their resting place, he turned away, knowing that he would return again and again, to walk among the tombstones and cherish the memories that bound him to those he had loved and lost. Chapter 3: Meeting Miss Havisham. In the quaint village of Littlemarsh, where the winding lanes were lined with ancient oaks and the air was filled with the sweet scent of wildflowers, young Pip's life took an unexpected turn one fateful afternoon as he made his customary pilgrimage to the churchyard. Little did he know that this encounter would change the course of his destiny forever. As Pip approached the familiar gates of the churchyard, his heart heavy with the weight of grief and longing, he noticed a figure standing amidst the shadows of the ancient oaks. She was a woman of ethereal beauty, her long dark hair cascading like a waterfall of midnight over her slender shoulders, her eyes deep pools of mystery and sorrow. Drawing closer, Pip could see that the woman was dressed in garments of another era, her attire faded and threadbare, yet still possessing an air of faded grandeur. She seemed lost in thought, her gaze fixed upon the rows of weathered tombstones that stretched out before her like a sea of forgotten memories. Curiosity piqued, Pip approached the woman cautiously, unsure of what to expect. As he drew nearer, he could hear her murmuring softly to herself, her words a whispered lament for days long gone. "Are you all right, miss?" Pip asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Startled, the woman turned to face him, her eyes alight with a strange mixture of sadness and longing. "I am as well as can be expected, given the circumstances," she replied, her voice like the echo of a distant bell. Pip sensed a depth of pain in the woman's words, a sorrow that seemed to weigh heavily upon her fragile shoulders. Intrigued by her enigmatic presence, he ventured to ask her name. "I am Miss Havisham," the woman replied, her voice tinged with a hint of melancholy. "And who might you be, young sir?" "I'm Pip," he answered, feeling a sense of kinship with this mysterious stranger. "I come here every Sunday to visit my parents' graves." At the mention of his parents, Miss Havisham's eyes softened with sympathy. "Ah, the bonds of family are a precious thing indeed," she said, her voice trailing off into a wistful sigh. Pip felt a pang of sadness at the mention of his parents, yet he also felt a strange comfort in Miss Havisham's presence. There was something about her that drew him in, like a moth to a flame, compelling him to unravel the mystery of her past. As they talked, Pip learned that Miss Havisham was a recluse who had lived in seclusion for many years, haunted by the ghosts of her past and the spectre of a love lost long ago. She spoke of a grand estate called Satis House, once filled with laughter and love, now shrouded in darkness and despair. Moved by Miss Havisham's tale, Pip felt a surge of compassion for this lonely woman who seemed so burdened by the weight of her memories. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the churchyard, Pip made a solemn vow to visit Miss Havisham again, to offer her the friendship and companionship she so sorely lacked. Little did Pip know that his encounter with Miss Havisham would be the beginning of a journey that would lead him down a path fraught with danger and deception, yet also filled with love and redemption. For in the enigmatic depths of Miss Havisham's world, Pip would discover the true meaning of friendship, loyalty, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Chapter 4: The Lure of Great Expectations. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, young Pip found himself haunted by the memory of his encounter with Miss Havisham, the enigmatic recluse whose presence seemed to linger like a spectre in the depths of his mind. Try as he might to shake off the feeling of unease that her words had stirred within him, Pip could not help but feel drawn to the mysterious woman and the secret she held. It was on a crisp autumn afternoon, with the leaves whispering secrets to the wind and the sun casting long shadows across the village square, that Pip's life took an unexpected turn. As he made his way home from the churchyard, lost in thought and weighed down by the burden of his grief, he was stopped in his tracks by the arrival of a horse-drawn carriage, its polished exterior gleaming in the fading light. From within the carriage emerged a man of imposing stature, his eyes sharp and penetrating, his demeanor commanding respect and attention. He introduced himself as Mr. Jaggers, a lawyer of some renown, and he bore news that would forever alter the course of Pip's destiny. "Master Pip," Mr. Jaggers began, his voice like thunder in the stillness of the autumn air, "I bring tidings of a most extraordinary nature. You, young sir, are the beneficiary of a generous benefactor, a person of means and influence who has taken an interest in your welfare." Pip could scarcely believe his ears. A benefactor? Someone who cared enough for him to bestow upon him such a gift? It seemed too good to be true. And yet, as Mr. Jaggers unfolded the details of the arrangement, Pip's heart swelled with a sense of hope and possibility that he had never known before. It appeared that Pip's benefactor was none other than Miss Havisham herself, the mysterious recluse whose presence had cast a shadow over his thoughts in recent months. Moved by pity for the orphan boy and perhaps by a sense of guilt for the role she had played in shaping his fate, Miss Havisham had decreed that Pip was to receive an education and upbringing befitting a young gentleman of means. With a sense of awe and disbelief, Pip listened as Mr. Jaggers outlined the terms of the arrangement. He was to leave the village immediately and embark upon a new life in London, where he would be provided with every opportunity to make a name for himself and rise above his humble beginnings. The prospect of such a journey filled Pip with a heady mixture of excitement and trepidation. London, the bustling metropolis of his dreams, beckoned to him like a distant star on the horizon, promising riches and adventure beyond his wildest imaginings. And yet, as he bid farewell to his aunt and uncle and prepared to embark upon the journey of a lifetime, Pip could not shake the feeling of unease that lingered in the depths of his soul. For he knew that with great expectations came great responsibility, and he could not help but wonder what price he would ultimately be called upon to pay for the privilege of pursuing his dreams. Little did Pip know that the lure of great expectations would lead him down a path fraught with danger and deception, testing the limits of his courage and resilience as he struggled to find his place in a world where nothing was as it seemed. Chapter 5: A Twist of Fate. As Pip's journey to London unfolded, the landscape outside the carriage window transformed from the verdant hills and tranquil streams of Littlemarsh into the bustling streets and towering buildings of the metropolis. The sights and sounds of the city overwhelmed his senses, filling him with a heady mixture of excitement and apprehension as he ventured into the unknown. Arriving at his destination, Pip was greeted by Mr. Jaggers, whose stern countenance and piercing gaze belied a sense of underlying kindness and concern. Under Mr. Jaggers' guidance, Pip was ushered into a world of privilege and opportunity, where he would receive an education and upbringing befitting a young gentleman of means. Yet as Pip settled into his new life in London, he found himself increasingly plagued by doubts and uncertainties. The grandeur and opulence of his surroundings stood in stark contrast to the simplicity and warmth of the village he had left behind, leaving him feeling adrift in a sea of unfamiliarity and isolation. In his moments of solitude, Pip found solace in the memories of his parents and the love they had shared. He clung to the familiar comforts of home, longing for the warmth of his aunt and uncle's embrace and the reassuring presence of the churchyard where his parents lay at rest. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Pip's thoughts began to stray from the past to the promise of the future. Encouraged by Mr. Jaggers and the influential patrons he had cultivated in London society, Pip set his sights on a life of wealth and prestige, determined to rise above his humble beginnings and make a name for himself in the world. Yet just as Pip's dreams seemed within reach, fate intervened in the most unexpected of ways. It was on a dark and stormy night, with the rain lashing against the windows and the wind howling like a banshee in the night, that Pip received news that would shatter his illusions and change the course of his destiny forever. In a letter delivered by a mysterious stranger, Pip learned the true identity of his benefactor, the source of the wealth and opportunity that had been bestowed upon him. Shock and disbelief washed over him as he read the words on the page, his heart pounding with a mixture of horror and realization. For it was not Miss Havisham, the mysterious recluse whose presence had cast a shadow over his thoughts for so long, who had arranged for Pip's education and upbringing. Instead, it was a convict, a man named Magwitch, whose life Pip had unwittingly saved many years before, who had made him the beneficiary of his ill-gotten gains. The revelation struck Pip like a thunderbolt, leaving him reeling with a sense of betrayal and deceit. Everything he had believed about himself and his place in the world was called into question, as he grappled with the realization that the life he had so eagerly pursued was built upon a foundation of lies and deception. Yet even as Pip struggled to come to terms with the truth of his benefactor's identity, he could not shake the feeling of gratitude and obligation that tugged at his heartstrings. For despite his flaws and his past transgressions, Magwitch had shown him a kindness and generosity that transcended the boundaries of class and circumstance, leaving Pip with a debt that could never be repaid. And so, as the storm raged outside and the walls of his world came crashing down around him, Pip was faced with a choice that would define the course of his destiny. Would he turn his back on the man who had given him everything, or would he embrace his true identity and forge a new path guided by the principles of loyalty, integrity, and the enduring power of the human spirit? Chapter 6: The Cost of Expectations. As the tempestuous winds of fate continued to buffet his world, Pip found himself ensnared in a web of deceit and disillusionment that threatened to engulf him entirely. The revelation of his benefactor's true identity had shaken him to his core, leaving him adrift in a sea of uncertainty and doubt as he struggled to make sense of the chaos that had engulfed his life. In the wake of this shocking revelation, Pip's once rosy dreams of wealth and prestige began to unravel before his very eyes. The grandeur of London society, which had once seemed so alluring and enticing, now appeared hollow and superficial, a facade masking the darker truths that lurked beneath the surface. Haunted by the spectre of his benefactor's past, Pip found himself tormented by a sense of guilt and remorse that gnawed at his conscience like a ravenous beast. He could not shake the feeling that he had been complicit in a great injustice, that his pursuit of greatness had come at a cost too steep to bear. And yet, try as he might to distance himself from the sins of the past, Pip found himself inexorably drawn back into the tangled web of deceit and betrayal that threatened to consume him whole. For Magwitch, the convict whose life he had unwittingly saved, remained a looming presence in his life, his shadow casting a pall over Pip's every thought and action. As Pip struggled to come to terms with the truth of his benefactor's identity, he found himself increasingly isolated from those he had once called friends. His childhood companion Joe, whose simple yet profound wisdom had guided him through the darkest of times, seemed a world away, his presence overshadowed by the glittering allure of London society. And as Pip descended deeper into the abyss of his own making, he found himself confronted with the harsh realities of a world where wealth and privilege came at a steep price. The friends he had once admired and envied revealed themselves to be shallow and superficial, their kindness a facade masking the cruelty and callousness that lay beneath. Yet amid the darkness and despair that threatened to engulf him, Pip found a glimmer of hope in the most unlikely of places. For it was in the unlikeliest of friendships that he discovered the true meaning of loyalty and redemption, as he forged a bond with a humble blacksmith named Joe whose unwavering devotion and selflessness stood as a beacon of light in the darkest of nights. And so, as Pip navigated the treacherous waters of London society, he came to realize that the cost of expectations was far greater than he could have ever imagined. For in his pursuit of wealth and prestige, he had sacrificed the love and loyalty of those who had stood by him through thick and thin, leaving him adrift in a sea of loneliness and regret. But amid the wreckage of his shattered dreams, Pip found solace in the knowledge that true greatness lay not in wealth or privilege, but in the simple acts of kindness and compassion that bound us together as human beings. And as he embarked upon the long and arduous journey of self-discovery, Pip vowed to atone for the sins of his past and seek redemption in the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Chapter 7: Lessons Learned. In the tapestry of Pip's life, woven with threads of hope, despair, and redemption, Chapter 7 emerged as a pivotal moment of introspection and revelation. It was a chapter marked not only by the trials and tribulations he faced, but also by the profound lessons he gleaned from his tumultuous journey. As the story unfolded, Pip found himself standing at a crossroads, the weight of his past mistakes and the uncertainty of his future bearing down upon him like an oppressive cloak. Yet amidst the chaos and confusion, he began to discern the faint glimmer of wisdom and understanding, slowly illuminating the path ahead. One of the most profound lessons Pip learned in Chapter 7 was the importance of self-awareness and introspection. Through his trials and tribulations, he came to realize the flaws and shortcomings that had led him astray, confronting the truth of his own actions with humility and courage. This newfound self-awareness allowed Pip to embark upon a journey of self-improvement, striving to overcome his weaknesses and become the best version of himself. Another vital lesson Pip learned was the power of forgiveness, both for himself and for others. In the face of betrayal and deceit, he grappled with feelings of anger and resentment, yet ultimately found the strength to let go of his grievances and embrace the healing power of forgiveness. Through this act of forgiveness, Pip freed himself from the shackles of bitterness and resentment, paving the way for reconciliation and redemption. Furthermore, Chapter 7 underscored the importance of resilience and perseverance in the face of adversity. Despite the myriad challenges he encountered, Pip refused to succumb to despair, drawing upon his inner strength and resilience to weather the storms that threatened to overwhelm him. Through perseverance and determination, he found the courage to press on, even when the path ahead seemed fraught with obstacles and uncertainty. Additionally, Pip learned valuable lessons about the true nature of happiness and fulfillment. In his pursuit of wealth and prestige, he came to realize that true happiness could not be found in material possessions or external validation. Instead, he discovered that happiness resided in the simple joys of everyday life, in the bonds of family and friendship, and in the pursuit of meaningful goals and aspirations. Moreover, Chapter 7 served as a poignant reminder of the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of compassion and empathy in the human experience. As Pip navigated the complexities of his relationships with others, he learned to extend kindness and understanding to those around him, recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of every individual he encountered. In essence, Chapter 7 encapsulated the transformative journey of self-discovery and growth that defined Pip's character arc. Through adversity and triumph, he emerged as a wiser, more compassionate soul, armed with the invaluable lessons learned along the way. And as he ventured forth into the unknown, guided by the light of newfound wisdom, Pip carried with him the indelible imprint of Chapter 7, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of redemption. Chapter 8: Rediscovering What Matters. In the labyrinth of life's twists and turns, Chapter 8 emerged as a beacon of illumination, casting light upon the truths that had eluded Pip amidst the shadows of his tumultuous journey. It was a chapter marked by introspection and revelation, as Pip embarked upon a quest to rediscover the essence of what truly mattered amidst the chaos and confusion of the world around him. As the story unfolded, Pip found himself standing at a crossroads, his heart heavy with the weight of regret and disillusionment. The pursuit of wealth and prestige had led him down a path fraught with deception and betrayal, leaving him adrift in a sea of uncertainty and doubt. Yet amidst the wreckage of his shattered dreams, he began to discern the faint glimmer of wisdom and understanding, slowly illuminating the path ahead. One of the most profound revelations Pip experienced in Chapter 8 was the rediscovery of the importance of love and connection. In his relentless pursuit of material success, he had lost sight of the bonds of family and friendship that had sustained him through the darkest of times. Yet as he stood amidst the weathered tombstones of the churchyard, surrounded by the echoes of his past, he began to realize that true happiness resided not in wealth or prestige, but in the love and companionship of those who mattered most. Another vital realization Pip had in Chapter 8 was the recognition of the fleeting nature of worldly pursuits. The glittering allure of London society had seduced him with promises of greatness and acclaim, yet beneath the facade of opulence lay a hollow emptiness that left him feeling more alone and disillusioned than ever before. Through this revelation, Pip came to understand that true fulfillment could not be found in the pursuit of external validation, but in the pursuit of inner peace and contentment. Furthermore, Chapter 8 underscored the importance of authenticity and integrity in living a meaningful life. As Pip reflected upon the choices he had made and the consequences they had wrought, he realized that true greatness lay not in the accumulation of wealth or status, but in the steadfast adherence to one's values and principles. Through this realization, Pip resolved to live his life with honesty and integrity, guided by the moral compass of his conscience. Moreover, Chapter 8 served as a poignant reminder of the power of redemption and second chances. Despite the mistakes and missteps of his past, Pip found solace in the knowledge that it was never too late to change course and start anew. Through acts of contrition and restitution, he sought to atone for the sins of his past and forge a path towards a brighter future. Additionally, Chapter 8 highlighted the importance of gratitude and appreciation for life's simple pleasures. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty of the world around him, Pip found solace in the beauty of nature, the warmth of human connection, and the simple joys of everyday living. Through this newfound appreciation, he learned to savor each moment and find contentment in the present moment. In essence, Chapter 8 encapsulated Pip's journey of rediscovery and self-renewal as he navigated the complexities of the human experience with courage and resilience. Through introspection and revelation, he emerged as a wiser, more compassionate soul, armed with the invaluable insights gleaned from his tumultuous journey. And as he ventured forth into the unknown, guided by the light of newfound wisdom, Pip carried with him the indelible imprint of Chapter 8, a testament to the enduring power of love, redemption, and the rediscovery of what truly matters most in life. Chapter 9, The True Meaning of Expectations. In the tapestry of Pip's life, Chapter 9 emerged as a culmination of his journey, a journey marked by trials and tribulations, self-discovery, and ultimately, redemption. It was a chapter imbued with profound lessons and revelations, as Pip came to understand the true meaning of expectations and the transformative power of love, forgiveness, and self-awareness. As the story unfolded, Pip found himself standing on the precipice of self-realization, the weight of his past mistakes and the uncertainty of his future bearing down upon him like an oppressive burden. Yet amidst the chaos and confusion, he began to discern the faint glimmer of wisdom and understanding, slowly illuminating the path ahead. One of the most profound realizations Pip experienced in Chapter 9 was the recognition of the inherent complexity and nuance of expectations. Throughout his journey, he had been driven by a desire for wealth and prestige, believing that these external markers of success would bring him the happiness and fulfillment he sought. Yet as he stood amidst the ruins of his shattered dreams, he came to understand that true greatness could not be measured in material possessions or external accolades. Instead, it resided in the pursuit of authenticity, integrity, and compassion, in the courage to be true to oneself and the willingness to extend kindness and forgiveness to others. Another vital realization Pip had in Chapter 9 was the understanding that expectations, when unchecked, could lead to disillusionment and despair. The grandiose visions he had harbored of a life of wealth and prestige had blinded him to the simple joys and pleasures of everyday living, leaving him feeling empty and unfulfilled. Through this realization, Pip came to understand that true happiness lay not in the pursuit of external validation, but in the cultivation of inner peace and contentment. Furthermore, Chapter 9 underscored the importance of self-awareness and introspection in navigating life's complexities. Through his trials and tribulations, Pip had been forced to confront the truth of his own actions and motivations, grappling with the flaws and shortcomings that had led him astray. Yet through this process of self-examination, he had emerged with a deeper understanding of himself and the world around him, armed with the knowledge that true growth and transformation could only come from within. Moreover, Chapter 9 served as a poignant reminder of the power of love and forgiveness in healing the wounds of the past. Despite the betrayals and deceptions he had faced, Pip found solace in the unconditional love and forgiveness of those closest to him, his childhood companion Joe, whose unwavering loyalty had guided him through the darkest of times, and his beloved Estella, whose journey of self-discovery mirrored his own. Through their acts of kindness and compassion, Pip learned that true redemption could only come through the power of love and forgiveness. Additionally, Chapter 9 highlighted the importance of resilience and perseverance in the face of adversity. Despite the myriad challenges he had encountered, Pip refused to succumb to despair, drawing upon his inner strength and resilience to weather the storms that threatened to overwhelm him. Through perseverance and determination, he found the courage to rise above his circumstances and forge a path towards a brighter future. In essence, Chapter 9 encapsulated the transformative journey of self-discovery and growth that defined Pip's character arc. Through adversity and triumph, he emerged as a wiser, more compassionate soul, armed with the invaluable lessons learned along the way. And as he ventured forth into the unknown, guided by the light of newfound wisdom, Pip carried with him the indelible imprint of Chapter 9, a testament to the enduring power of love, forgiveness, and the true meaning of expectations.